Every group has that one funny guy, and then there's you. Humor always seemed like an abstract concept, but there's actually a very specific science behind it. But to first understand that, we have to go way back when comedy started. When kings ruled, comedians or jesters were hired to entertain the court. But they did more than make people laugh. Jesters played an important role by using humor to introduce sensitive or controversial topics, making it easier for people to discuss things that might have been too risky to say openly. This is proven by Sigmund Freud's relief theory. Humor is a powerful way to let out built-up tension. When we laugh, we are able to express things like frustration or anxiety in a way that's socially acceptable. So, humor gives us a safe outlet for emotions, which is why jokes about difficult topics can often make us laugh. This is why dark humor scratches that itch that nothing else quite can. But to really understand what makes people laugh, let's take a look at the funniest joke ever. Fun fact, it actually includes dark humor. Wiseman, a psychologist with a knack for humor, wanted to find the world's funniest joke, and to do so, he invited people from all over the globe to submit their best jokes. Then he took it further and had thousands of people rate these jokes. After going through all the submissions and ratings, the joke that came out on top was, "Two hunters are out in the woods. One of them collapses. He doesn't seem to be breathing. The other guy pulls out his phone and calls 911. My friend is dead. What do I do?" The operator says, "Calm down, I can help. First, let's make sure he's dead." There's silence, then a gunshot. Back on the phone, the guy says, "Okay, now what?" And that, my friends, was the funniest joke as per the ratings. But how did this random joke end up winning the funniest joke award? Well, this is explained by psychologists Peter McGraw and Caleb Warren in the benign violation theory. The theory is basically their way of saying that something is funny when it's both okay, but still a bit wrong. Now hold up, that might sound like a lot of brain power for just figuring out why a joke is funny, but humor itself is a little more complicated. So, what are the main ingredients of a funny moment? According to this theory, we need three things. Number 1, the violation, something breaks a rule or a social norm. Number 2, the benign, the violation still has to feel safe. Number 3, the timing, the uh-oh moment is built up and the oh well instantly eases it with humor. Think about the hunter joke I told you earlier. First, we have the life or death situation, aka the violation. And then the shooting, which is also a violation if you think about it. However, every listener knows that no one will be that stupid in real life, so the situation becomes so absurd that it's benign. The joke won the award because the transition between the uh-oh and the oh well is so perfectly timed. But now imagine the hunter shooting you. Not so funny now, right? A better example for this is you trying to tickle your friend. It's just a normal and funny thing friends can do, yet what if you go up to a random stranger and start tickling him? Yep, not so funny. Because this is where the violation becomes serious and loses its benign factor, making it more awkward or downright inappropriate than humorous. So whether something is funny really depends on who you're joking with and how safe it feels to them. Same way, if a joke is too benign, it becomes boring. There's no build-up, it would feel like a simple statement. This theory is not foolproof, humor can be risky business, and sometimes jokes miss the mark because they don't get the balance between benign and violation quite right. But here's the ultimate idea to be funny, which is a lot easier to do and probably comes naturally to most of you: make bad jokes. When you make a joke, even if it's one of those cringeworthy dad jokes that have people awkwardly stare at you, you're actually forcing your brain to think in creative ways. You're trying to find a funny angle and make a connection that's a little unexpected. These new connections help keep your brain flexible, adaptive, and, well, plastic. This is what we call neuroplasticity. Every time you make a new connection, even for a joke that doesn't quite hit the mark, your brain releases a bunch of feel-good chemicals like dopamine, and your brain can never get enough of that. This flood of neurochemicals is like a mini reward for being creative and taking risks. During sleep, your brain does a deep clean. It organizes all those crazy ideas and connections you made during the day, throwing out the ones it doesn't need and strengthening the ones that could be useful. So every time you attempt a joke, good or bad, you're giving your brain something new to work with. And once you get to the point of having better humor, you can use some extra tricks to maximize it. For example, it was discovered that certain words are funnier than others due to their sound.
Yes, your name.
Words with K or hard consonants like pickle or knack tend to sound funnier and make your jokes better. Be relatable. I know it sounds basic, but when people hear a joke that mirrors their own experiences, it triggers memories and emotions tied to those moments. You can also use words with multiple syllables that create a more dramatic, drawn-out delivery. Take the difference between saying pants compared to pantaloons. You see, adding extra syllables can create an exaggerated, almost childlike tone, making you sound hilarious. Hilarious enough to impress that baddie you may have in mind. But even if you're the funniest guy she ever met, that would not get you too far, not if you don't know how to have a really deep or great conversation. Luckily, I have a video just for that.